To hear this audiobook in full, please visit the links in the description below. Thank you for your support.
Misery and Glory, The Long and Its Antecedents by Jin Yinan. Audiobook Part 1. Foreword. Where am I from? Where are we from? Such questions are as old as life itself. Such questions are more than those from the future to the past. They are questions that the tree has for its roots, the volcano for its lava, and the finite for the infinite. We were once slaves. Were it not so, the century of disgrace from 1840 to 1949 would not have happened. We have had heroes. Were it not so, we would not be on this 100-year-long journey to revival, from 1949 to 2050. When compared with the eventful history of a nation, an individual's life feels short indeed, so those who now are blessed with happy lives are loath to acknowledge that they once were slaves. Nor are they inclined to recognize that once we had heroes. Before you know it, their own stirring and awe-inspiring history ends up like a desiccated exhibit, lifeless and dull, abandoned in the corner, attracting no interest. When history's fate morphs into the fate of the individual, people can only tremble in fear as they stare at the divination in the Book of Changes. Are we not casting away our treasures? As Ku Kyubai, one of the early CPC leaders who was murdered by the KMT in 1935, once wrote,
A man loves his history, like a bird loves its wings. Please do not tear off my wings.
how, other than through the intimate touch of the past, can one acquire wings to fly? As Denis Diderot once said,
What else can inspire us if not truth and virtue?
if I may adapt his words, how can we grow a backbone and stand tall if we are stirred only by the thought of individual wealth and nothing else? Is stacks of money all it takes to become a worthy member of the international community? If everything was about individual comfort and pleasure, the Chinese nation could never have produced such men as Sun Yat-sen and Mao Zedong. You should not gather the pretty flowers of history. You should go and bring back the fire that burns beneath like molten lava. As Lucien Febvre, a French historian and co-founder of the Annales School, once said,
In the chaos and turmoil of the world we live in today, history is the only thing enabling us to face life without a trembling heart.
Febvre died in 1956, but his words still resonate across the world today. As for the Chinese nation, the cause continues, a cause demanding commitment from this generation and many more to come. I firmly believe that the men and women who work long and hard for the renewal of our nation without asking for credit for it will draw great inspiration from our past. No matter how rich and powerful we become, this line from our national anthem must forever remain the same. Arise, ye who refuse to be slaves. With our flesh and blood, let us build a new great wall. No matter how hard it is for us, we must forever remember this line from the Internationale. There are no supreme saviors, neither God, nor Caesar, nor tribune. Matter never perishes. The universe is eternal. The only thing more vast than the blue dome of heaven is the spirit. Any nation needs heroes of its own, and there are profoundly tragic implications for true heroes. They sow the seeds but do not share in the harvest. That is what being the backbone of a nation is all about. I present this book as a tribute to those backbone people of the past, the present, and the future. Thanks to their pain and suffering, we reap the glory. Jin Yinan. Chapter 1. The Fire Burning Below.
Soviet Russia sees Wu Peifu, not Sun Yat-sen, as its best ally in China. Stalin favors Chiang Kai-shek, not Mao Zedong. Leon Trotsky warns, and Stalin plans to squeeze the lemon. Even Chen Duxiu defers to the Comintern. Chiang Kai-shek's tragedy is to live in the same era as Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong once asked in his now famous essay, "Why is it that red political power can exist in China?" Many people tried to figure that out. No matter how fascinating and soul-stirring history is, as those who were involved in those momentous events gradually die off, it cannot help but become a row of old books, lined up on a shelf and gathering dust. In the stillness of the library of the PLA National Defense University in western Beijing, there is a 70-year-old book on a shelf in a corner. Age has turned the pages yellow and brittle like shriveled leaves in the fall. It is a first edition, published in Chongqing in October 1942, or the 31st year of the Republic of China. Turn to page 195 and you will see a diary entry for December 12, 1936.
It was 5:30 in the morning, and I was just putting on some clothes after my morning exercises on the bed, when I heard a gunshot from the entrance of the compound. I immediately sent a guard to investigate. A second gunshot was fired before he could report back. I sent a second one out, and that was when more shots were fired, and it felt like they were not going to stop any time soon.
It reads like the start of a blood and thunder thriller. You can imagine the writer's hand shaking as he logged the happenings of that momentous morning. The diary goes on.
I made my way out and up a hill in the back, across a rainbow bridge. The gate on the east side was locked, and there was no time to find the key, so I scaled the wall. The wall was only about 3 meters tall, so it was not hard to surmount. But there was a ditch on the other side, and I fell in the dark. I was in so much pain after I landed that I stayed there for about 3 minutes before I could walk again. I walked for a short while and arrived at a small temple. There were guards there. They helped me walk. There were no trails on the east side of the hill, but with the mutineers to the west, we had to keep on trekking east. It got steep near the top, and we made our way up on all fours.
For a 3-meter-high wall to seem not hard to surmount, the situation must have been desperate indeed. And the rider must have been in panic for his life to think nothing of leaping from the top of that wall into the unknown, a leap that landed him deep in a ditch. Surprisingly, this man vaulting walls and scrambling over mountains was in his 50s. He was none other than Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek, head of the Military Committee of the Republic of China, and the flight that he recorded, which took place on December 12, 1936, is remembered in history as the Xi'an Incident. This political turning point was initiated in the city of Xi'an in the northwest of China. While in the city, Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the Kuomintang and of the Nanjing-based nationalist government, was detained on December 12, 1936, by two of his generals, Zhang Xueliang and Yang Hucheng. The aim was to force him to stop the Civil War and ally the KMT with the Communist Party of China to fight Japanese aggression. The following morning, the leadership of the Communist Party of China, CPC, met in Bohan to discuss their response to the mutiny within the Kuomintang, KMT, ranks. The majority opinion was to have Chiang tried and eliminated for good. That opinion was made clear in a telegram that Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai dispatched at noon that day to Zhang Huiliang, the KMT general who had staged the mutiny. It was reiterated in a telegram sent on December 14th from generals of the Red Army to Zhang and Yang Hucheng, Zhang's co-conspirator, and again in a December 15th telegram from the Red Army generals to the KMT leadership. 2 days after the incident, the Soviet newspaper Pravda published an editorial that blamed the mutiny on the pro-Japan activists working to help Japan to bring down China, and called Jiang a Japanese agent, acting in secret for his masters. The Japanese government, on the other hand, believed Moscow had made a deal with Jiang, turning him into a Soviet pawn. It viewed Soviet Russia as the true mastermind behind the drama in Xi'an. An editorial in the Japanese newspaper Mainichi Shimbun stated that any settlement China's central government might reach with Jiang, involving concessions to the communists and fighting Japan, would meet with the strongest opposition from Tokyo. Meanwhile, in Nanjing, He Yinqian, then Minister of Political and Military Affairs of the KMT government, moved troops into offensive positions while Sung Mei-ling, or Madame Chiang Kai-shek, was engaged in diplomacy seeking to make a deal, with Dai Jitao pounding on the table, screaming and wailing, even Zhu Jiang, normally most composed under pressure.